everybody. Welcome along to the CILIPS Conference 2022. It's so good to have you all here. Our first one in 3 years. We had a one-day event last year, but this is the first time we've got a two-day conference again, and it's delightful to see you all, and thank you all for taking the time to come out and make the journey here. I'm Sean McNamara. I'm the head of CILIP Scotland, and I'll be doing the welcome today. You may have seen on Twitter, we're sad to say that our wonderful president, Amina Shah, is not able to join us for the conference for these 2 days, but as you will see on screen, and I'll pass over to Amina in a minute. What I'll do first of all is I'll just do a few bits and pieces that might help you throughout the day, just in case you've not picked them up when you've registered today. Just to let you know where the rooms are, so you know when you're moving about and you're looking at your parallel sessions. If it's City Suite, it's in here. If it is the Art Gallery or the Melbourne Room, they're both on the level called the Mezzanine. So you get there by going in the lift, up to the floor M. Obviously, with everyone moving, you might not all want to use the lift. So there is a stair up the far end, just to the right of the spa, and you follow that up to the first level you get to, which is called the M level. And in there, there'll be our conference volunteers will be there to point you in the right direction to make sure. But if you get lost, just follow the crowd, or just come back down to registration, and we'll keep you right, and we'll let you know where you need to go. The toilets are just out there. There's a male and a female toilet just outside there if you need it. For lunch, that will be served just out there in the main bit. So once it gets to lunchtime, just head there. All your coffee and everything will be in the exhibition hall. So make sure you go and have a chat and get a coffee and speak to the exhibitors throughout. If you have any problems at all, just come speak to me. My colleague Kirsten is at the back and she'll be happy to help you as well. And we also have our conference team of Keith and Audrey and Margaret, who will either be on the registration desk and Alison at the back there. So I'm just looking at it. And they'll be happy to help you. Look out for their badges that say happy to help, and they certainly are. So just give them a shout if you have any problems. Occasionally throughout the event, we will be taking photos. We'll also be filming some of the talks in here. So just to let you know that if you've got any problem with getting photographed or getting filmed, just please let us know, and we'll make sure that you're not featured in any of that. For anyone that is checking into the hotel, that will be from 2:30, but you may be able to get checked in early, so a chance it if you can. If anyone has a car and you haven't given your car registration to somebody at the hotel, make sure you do that, otherwise you might get charged. So just make sure. There should have been somebody taking your car registration, but just make sure that you do that. Okay, now I have got a few more things to tell you, but I'll come to them after Amina. So now what I will do is hopefully, now unfortunately Amina can't see all of you because of the nature of Zoom. She can just see my face. But trust me, Amina, there is a room full of smiling delegates looking forward to seeing you. So thank you for joining us, and I'll just pass over to you just now. Thank you.
Oh, thanks, Sean. Thanks so much. Morning, everyone, and welcome to CILIPS 2022. My name's Amina Shah. I'm the National Librarian and Chief Exec of the National Library of Scotland, and I also have the huge honour of being the CILIPS President this year in 2022. I'm so very sorry not to be with you in person today. Those of you who know me know how much I love a blether. I love libraries, books, stories. They're all my favourite subjects. Dundee is a city close to my heart, so I'm really sorry to miss this opportunity to celebrate with all of you after such a long time. The conference theme is Scotland's Libraries, Home of Scotland's Stories, which is just perfect. As you know, it's the year of Scotland's stories this year, and I just feel this. It goes really well and speaks so much to our programme and everything that we're about. This is the biggest annual gathering of library and information professionals in Scotland. There are around 140 delegates attending the conference each day to hear keynote presentations, attend workshops, breakout sessions, and the conference is once again sold out. Huge thanks to all the exhibitors who support us today in this conference. Their support is vital to the event, so please do go and see them. Engage with the suppliers over coffee and after lunch. The exhibition is open throughout the conference and well worth a visit. I really hope that everyone's going to enjoy the programme. I wish I could meet so many of you. That was what I was hoping to say. The first CILIPS conference I attended was in 1999, and in those days they were in Peebles. And my friend Derek, I was working in the Mitchell Library at the time, and my friend Derek said, "Why don't you come along to this? I think you'll really like it." I was astounded to see people from all across Scotland, from all different sorts of libraries, sharing, meeting people, talking about things that they've done in their libraries that are different. If you haven't been before, just take this opportunity after such a long time of us all being online to just talk to someone that you don't know and meet someone new. You're going to really be in for a treat, and if you open your mind, you can totally learn something different. There's a competition that's running throughout the conference to win a Samsung tablet. So events and forms were handed out at registration. So all you need to do is speak to an exhibitor about what they offer and get a signature in return. Return your completed forms to the box at registration before the final keynote on Tuesday, and the winner will be announced just before the end. We also have given everyone a protest and suffrage card, and delegates should be able to find someone with the same card and take a selfie. One photo will win free places next year. I also want to say a massive thank you to Sean and Kirsten, who we're so lucky to have them leading the professional organisation in Scotland. And they've done such a power of work to put together this conference today for everyone. And before we start, I have one more announcement to make. So this year, CILIPs are delighted to launch a new research fund. For 2022, this is a new idea that the fund will support an opportunity for research that contributes to understanding the impact that the library and information sector has in Scotland. Like, the theme of Scotland Stories isn't just about libraries collecting, preserving and sharing stories, but also the story of libraries, what we do, the impact that we have on communities. It's essential for us to continue to make the case and to show the impact that we're having on individuals and across the whole of Scotland. So the fund makes available up to £10,000 per year for research, practitioners, activists, students, and other interested professionals whose work seeks to advance library advocacy. Examples of research outputs can include conference papers, journal articles, master's or doctoral research, and infographics. And the intention will be to fully or part fund research that would directly support CILIPs in our aim to highlight the value of libraries and information services to key national priorities, such as tackling the cost of living crisis, child poverty, and climate change. The call for applications will be open from today until November the 1st, 2022, and full details are available on the website. And I'm sure that some of the presentations and conversations that you're going to have today will really stimulate your thoughts on this and give lots of opportunities for collaboration as well. So I'm going to head off now, really sadly, heartbroken not to be there with you all, but I know you're all going to have a fabulous day, and I really look forward to hearing all about it. And hopefully I'll see you tomorrow at the Q&A with Gemma Kearney, which I'll be able to zoom in for. So enjoy and celebrate. Thank you.
Thank you, Amina. If you're still there, just to say thank you, and I hope you heard that applause, and we really appreciate you joining us. So thank you so much, and I hope to see you again tomorrow. So take care. Thanks,
Sean. Bye.
Okay, so this is now officially a hybrid conference, I think. So there we go. We can tick that one off. Right, okay. Now, just to tell you, if anyone has any questions about the research fund that was mentioned there, please come and chat to us at registration. It is all on the website, and we'll be happy to answer any questions. It's a new thing that we're trying, and we hope that people will get involved. Just to mention, on the exhibitor competition, you only need to get 5 signatures, so don't worry, you don't need because just speak to as many as you can, but if you get 5 signatures, you can enter the competition. But hopefully you can get the full lot, but it doesn't give you a better chance of winning. And the card, yeah, so just that is, you just find somebody, if it's really just to get people chatting. If it's your first conference, I know it's difficult. I'm not somebody that particularly enjoys or is a natural networker, so it's good to have something. This is the thing, if you don't know how to start a conversation with somebody about it, or feel nervous about it, ask them what card they've got and see if they've got the same one. If they don't, then just talk about something else. But if you do luckily find somebody with the same card, take a selfie and then we'll draw one at random. And you might find that there's more than one person, so if you can get 3 together, then you might all win a place. So yeah, give it a go. And return your exhibition forms signed by exhibitors to registration, and we'll get that for you. Okay, so that is all from me, and although you will be hearing a lot more from me than you probably expected, as Amina's not here, so apologies for that. But I hope you really enjoy the conference. I know it's been a difficult 2 years for us all, and we're all still very much in the midst of things, so I really appreciate you all coming out, and it's wonderful to see you all. It's now my pleasure to pass from one president to another president. Who we have now is Kate Robinson, who is the CILIP President. Kate has worked in libraries since the 1980s, originally contributing to a range of sectors, including public libraries, private members' libraries, and the advertising industry. She is also the University Librarian for the University of Bath and is the current President of CILIP. Kate is a previous chair of CILIP's Professional Registration and Accreditation Board, and she now chairs CILIP's Sector Development Committee and is a member of the Board of Directors of the International Association of University Libraries. And is also a Fellow of the Royal Society of Arts and a Fellow of CILIP. So lots going on, and we're delighted to have you, Kate. So Kate, I will now pass over to you, and if you'd like to take over the lectern, and please welcome Kate. Thank you, everybody.
Good morning, everybody. It's lovely to see everybody in person. I've got very used over the last couple of years to talking on screens with some lovely notes by the side of me, not having to memorise things. I need to keep on track. Nick's told me that. So I will be looking at notes as I go through. So do please excuse me if I'm not making eye contact all the way through. However, I have got one of these cards, and I've been looking at this one. The one I've got is a suffragist, and it says that suffragists believe in cooperation, education and debate. So that sounds very like us, doesn't it? Creative in their activism, using talks, pageantry. I haven't really got any pageantry. Well, probably after the weekend, that's quite good. Marches and banners and music. Haven't got any of that either. Sorry, folks, but do feel free to sing along if you'd like to. But I've got a wild card, and what that means is I'm going to be talking to everybody. So I'm really looking forward to catching up with people later and over the dinner this evening. So I wanted to thank Sean for his kind introduction, and also I wanted to thank again Sean and Kirsten for everything that they've done to put things together today. I've never been to Dundee before. This is wonderful. What a lovely place. I'm told there are seals at Tesco's. I'm going to go there later. I'm hoping that's outside in the sea and not in the frozen aisle. But it's just fantastic to be here, and lovely to see so many of you in person. I've been asked to talk to you today about We Are CILIP, and I think this is why it's really important that I keep on track, because I don't want to go off too far off piste on this one, because this is the new 5-year strategy and action plan for our community. We will launch this formally in February this year. So let's check that's working. Good. So my first duty, however, is to celebrate an important development which took place for CILIP and CILIP in Scotland during the pandemic. 2021 marked the 90th year of our work together, and we were absolutely delighted to mark the occasion with the signature of a new long-term partnership agreement between our two organisations. The aim of this new agreement is to strengthen the whole of our community by strengthening the support and the representation that we can provide together for CILIP members in Scotland. The new agreement is a real mark of how far we've come together in building a successful collaborative partnership for the benefit of our community. So I'd also like to take the opportunity to offer my sincere thanks, and those of the CILIP Board of Trustees, to the trustees and the President of CILIP in Scotland. I turned to look at Sean here, but I'm sending that to Amina as well. The last 2 years have been incredibly challenging for all of us, and without the solidarity and support of our colleagues of CILIP in Scotland, along with our member networks, special interest groups, and all of our members across the UK and internationally, there could have been a real risk, I think, to the future of our professional body. But today, thanks to your support, we're able to look ahead to the future with some real confidence and some real ambition. So it's with real pleasure that I'm able to introduce We Are CILIP. It's an ambitious new strategy and action plan that's going to guide CILIP's work on behalf of our profession for the next 5 years. The plan itself was developed through a programme of events, webinars and conversations called The Big Conversation, and I'm really grateful to everyone that participated from Scotland and elsewhere in regional and in special interest groupings. And it was really good to hear so many of the aspirations and ideas for our profession coming through those sessions. I personally found it a real privilege to meet and hear from so many of you in these, and I really hope that this is the start of conversations to come. And as Amina was saying, what we do is we talk to each other, and from that ideas grow. I'd like to see an awful lot more of that. Now we're back together again. I think we've got that informality that we maybe have been missing over the last couple of years. So We Are CILIP aims to reflect some of the tremendous energy and ambition of our profession as we reach a pivotal moment of renewal. As we look ahead to next year, we're going to be celebrating 125 years since the establishment of our Royal Charter. And We Are CILIP is focused firmly on the opportunities that lie ahead. It looks ahead to a society in which we can harness technology for the good of every person. It envisages a more just, tolerant and inclusive world, underpinned by knowledge, empathy and reading. And it's an ambition that every individual should be supported at every stage of their lives by the expertise of an ethical information professional. From early years to the school library, from public libraries to college, from universities to work. And we want every life, everywhere, to benefit from the skills and judgment of a dedicated information or knowledge professional or librarian. So our purpose over the next 5 years, it's going to be to unite, to support and empower information professionals in all sectors. And this is something I feel really strongly about. I think this is our profession is us. I know we get tied up with buildings and other such things, but it's actually all about us, as far as I'm concerned. And we've seen firsthand through the pandemic the power of coming together as a professional community. And we're so much more when we're united under one common banner as a profession. Our vision is of a professional community that's dedicated to changing lives through quality information, services and expertise. We're united by a strong foundation in ethics and a commitment to professional practice, which gives us a unique responsibility really in an age of misinformation, disinformation and post-truth. And our mission, which we are well on the way to achieving, is to be the leading professional membership association for people working in information, knowledge, libraries and related disciplines. And our values, to which we make an active commitment, are to stand up for social justice, to stand for intellectual freedom and to reaffirm our commitment to evidence-based practice. So, We Are CILIP sets out the 4 strategic contexts which we believe will define the future of our profession. And these are environmental sustainability, so supporting our organisations and our communities to find ways to live in harmony with the natural environment and to avert climate crisis. Digital transformation, enabling our users to live happier, healthier and safer lives in an increasingly connected world. Equity and social justice, promoting a more diverse, representative and inclusive world and a more just and tolerant society. And leadership. And I think this is our opportunity to move from being information managers to information leaders, not just responding to the changes around us, but proactively taking ownership and leading them. And we're taking concrete action in each of these areas. So I'm delighted to share the launch of a major new initiative, and you may have seen quite a lot of this on social media already. The UK Green Libraries Partnership, launched in collaboration with the Arts Council England, the British Library, Libraries Connected and Julie's Bicycle. These are all aligned to the outstanding CILIP's Go Green programme here in Scotland. So we're a little late to the party, but here we are now. And the aim of the Green Libraries Partnership is to put our profession right at the heart of action to create a more sustainable world. So over the next 5 years, we're going to be providing grant funding, ideas and other support to enable librarians and information professionals in all sectors to take action on sustainability and climate. And we're working with our colleagues at CILIP in Scotland to ensure that this work includes the huge range of work already going on in the libraries across Scotland, highlighted by COP26. Moving to technology. Technology is changing every aspect of our daily lives, how we live, how we collaborate, work, share, how we socialise, and how we get our news. It seems very likely that one of the lasting events of the pandemic will be a society whose attitude to technology is transformed. But in so many ways, our technological reach exceeds our grasp, and there's a very real risk that new technologies will further disadvantage the people who are already most at risk of being marginalised in our society. And so that's why it's so vital that our profession plays a leading role in ensuring that our digital society is founded on principles of fairness, equity, justice, empowerment, and protecting the rights and privacy of the individual. And that's why CILIP is developing an entire digital leadership skills programme based on the revised Professional Knowledge and Skills Base, the PKSB. Snappy title, we might need to rethink that one, but anyway. If you haven't yet had a chance to explore the new and improved online interactive PKSB yet, I can't recommend it highly enough, and I really truly can't. I think this is fantastic work. It's basically a de facto national skills sector standard for us. It really is lovely, and it's been updated beautifully. Working with the network of leading sector experts, CILIP has completely updated the PKSB to reflect the changing skills needs of our profession. So it now includes enhanced information on areas like media and information literacy, and knowledge and data and information management. And what's exciting for me is that sector employers are increasingly using the PKSB as a development tool for their librarians and their information professional staff. And that takes us right back to who we are as a profession, and the profession being us. We recently completed a skills audit and training plan for the Irish Library Agency, the LGMA, and we're working on several more in a number of sectors, including public libraries, and actually also in my own HE library, where I'm looking to use it as an audit. In fact, I'm doing that at the moment, to future-proof our skills and to move us forward. Building on the success of Changing Lives, our manifesto for equity and social justice in libraries, information and knowledge, we're working with our employer partners to launch an ambitious programme of positive action campaigns for our profession. So over the summer, we're pleased to be working with 14 other sector leadership bodies, including CILIP in Scotland, SLIC, or do you say SLIC? SLIC. I was going to check. I've done that now. And the Scottish Council on Archives to launch Workforce Mapping 2.0. It's a crowd-funded initiative to update our workforce data with a specific focus on equality, diversity and inclusion. And I think the results of this are going to be really, really interesting to see who we are now as a profession. We're actively working with our diversity networks, including the LGBTQ+ and Disability Network, to provide information for employers on more inclusive approaches to recruitment and selection. And our next focus is going to be on leadership development across the library, information and knowledge profession. And we believe that the long-term health of our profession depends on promoting leadership at every level, working with and supporting you as librarians and information professionals to drive positive change for the communities and users that you serve. And as the wonderful Amina Shah, my opposite number, says, we Are CILIP, over the next 5 years, our profession will move from information managers to information leaders, working with our users, communities and organisations to learn, adapt and grow for the future. So throughout all of this, our ambition is to do more of what we do best, what only we can do as the umbrella body for our profession, to provide authoritative professional recognition, to support all of us in developing our skills, to continue to promote excellence and professional standards, to represent our interests with senior decision makers, and to continue to grow and develop our community of practice. We've got some hugely exciting developments coming up in 2022 and beyond, and we're excited to be working with our colleagues at CILIP in Scotland to make sure that the knowledge, expertise and energy of the Scottish community is reflected right at the heart of everything that we do together. So please don't forget that the CILIP Ideas platform is always open and provides a great place to share your ideas, your challenges and your ambitions for work, and that's part of what we've been using to gather information together as part of the big conversation. That's got a really dull email address of www.cilipideas.org.uk, but you'll find all of these things connected to our web pages. But despite the challenges, we're excited about the next 5 years for our profession, and I believe we're at a really important and decisive point for our community. It's a moment of renewal where we can decide what we want to bring with us from the past, but then look determinedly ahead to the role that we want to play in the future. And thanks to the work of our boards, our committees, our volunteers, the relationship between CILIP and CILIP in Scotland has never been stronger, nor more focused on the good of our members across Scotland and the rest of the UK. But we do depend completely on our members to fund our work. And if you're a member, I would ask you just to take a few moments to support this work by visiting our website, looking at We Are CILIP, downloading the poster and telling your friends and colleagues to take a fresh look at their professional body. And if you aren't yet a member, do please feel free, again, to look at our website and to sign up for our free email newsletter to find out more and to see if this is something that you'd like to be part of. And finally, I'm looking forward to the discussions over the next 2 days. And if this presentation has prompted any questions or ideas, I'd love to hear them. I'll do my best to answer them, and if I can't, I'm going to ask Nick. And finally, if you would like to carry on this conversation from today, it's a bit of a plug for Liverpool, but given that we're all coming together again, do come and join us. It's taking place in Liverpool, 7th and 8th of July, and thank you so much. I hope you have an excellent conference.
Thank you, Kate. That was wonderful. Thank you. That was a great overview. And yeah, we'd love to have some questions from people. So if you have a question, could you please just raise your hand? Now, we have a couple of people at the back with roving microphones, Alison and Keith. So if you raise your hand, just wait for them to come to you. Keep the mic close to your mouth and speaking. And if you can say who you are and where you work, please do. But don't worry, people always forget. So, but if you do remember them, please do that before asking your question. So does anyone have a question? Too early for people to tribute. Well, I've got a couple while people get the confidence to raise their hands. In terms of We Are CILIP, if people, you've done a lot over the years around being part of the accreditation board and different committees. In the essence of We Are CILIP, if people are members or not members, even if they are keen to get more involved, what advice would you give from your own experience and the benefits of putting yourself forward for these volunteer roles and taking that step?
I think for me, volunteering has always been part of what I do, and CILIP I think has been particularly enjoyable from my perspective. I think I started off as a mentor, as many people do, I think, when they take a first step into CILIP of doing something different. And I was of the kind of generation that, you know, you went to library school and then you did your chartership and you had this kind of, and then you thought about being a mentor. So actually it just seemed like a really natural progression at that point. What I would say is just how much benefit I got from that. I think volunteering is not really about what it, it's going to sound really wrong, doesn't it? I'm about to say it's not really what you do for other people, it's what other people do for you, but it kind of it is, really, because it's those professional conversations where you have the opportunity to meet people, to step outside your own sector, to step into something a little bit different, sometimes a bit scary, but you learn the skills, and the skills that you learn are absolutely phenomenal, I think, and they come back time and time again into your own professional practice. So mentoring was where I started. And then they were looking for people to be on what was then the Professional Registration and Accreditation Board, or it might have been called something else at that point. It was about 20 years ago. So we do keep reinventing that. That actually has been probably one of the biggest privileges of my professional life, is reading the stories that people submit for their associate membership, for their chartership, for their fellowship. You really get to step inside somebody's own professional world and also hear their own voice as to how they feel about what's happening there. Benefits for the organisation, of course, are huge, because you have reflective practitioners as a critical friend sitting in your own organisation, looking at what you're doing, giving you great ideas and challenging you. And challenge is so important for renewal and refresh of any service. So that was somewhere I sat quite comfortably for a while. But I don't know, whenever you're within somewhere, there's always things you want to do and things you want to change and things you want to make happen. And I think in order to do that, it's all of our responsibilities to do that. And for me, that's what took me further down into the idea of moving to review professional registration. I was part of a working group that did that. And the setting up of the Sector Development Committee, which gives a direct link to CILIP Board for professional registration, something I think that was a gap. And it's really good to see that back at the heart of what we do as CILIP. So that's my own kind of journey and reflection on that within CILIP, I would say just jump in. You can jump in at any point. We've been recruiting for the Professional Registration Board, well, panel now, we've changed the name again, for some time. We're doing a complete refresh of that every few years. So loads more opportunity for people to get involved with that. And I'm trying to do some professional registration stories as well through Information Professional. People telling me if anybody has any stories they'd like to share with me about that, I would love to see those stories shared out in the wider community. As I say, it's a huge privilege for me as an assessor to have read those. And it always seemed to me such a shame that other people weren't getting to read them too. And I know people might be a little bit careful about what it is you do want to share, but the stories that come through and the things that people do and the difference that people make is just astonishing. So there's so many different ways to get involved. It could be through writing for a professional magazine, sharing your own stories with people, which I think fits beautifully with the theme for Scotland. It could be through just saying, yes, I'll help. You know, joining in, helping with a conference, joining in through supporting somebody in their career, just joining in any way that's open to us all. These things, they seem like they might be onerous, but I just think the benefits are huge, and the benefits to the individuals doing it, I think, are massive. And I can't stress enough just how much that work really does inform and keep your interest going, and just add that extra dimension to your own professional life, which I think is hugely valuable. I think that's a really long answer, isn't it? I could go on.
It's
I'm really enthusiastic about this.
And just to mention on that, we have our own branches and groups in Scotland. We have 6 special interest groups and 6 regional branches. And if you are at any point in your career and you would like to get more involved in that, speak to Kirsten and I, we will be happy. Those committees are always looking for new members and new ideas, so they'd be delighted to hear from you. One more question that I've just got is, one of the things we get asked a lot is about advice on moving between sectors and transferable skills. And I know this isn't necessarily directly connected to your talk, but I know you've had a lot of experience across different sectors. So is there any advice you'd give to anyone who at the moment is either at the start of their career or is thinking about maybe jumping from one sector to another, and any tips around that?
I don't think there's anything even slightly scary about it. It's a really natural progression. I think the PKSB gives us this clue. These are the skills that we have. It's not where you work, it's what you do. It's how you apply those skills. And those skills can be applied in so many different places. Looking at some of the people in my own organisation at the university, you find librarians in all sorts of nooks and crannies in universities. You find them in the Quality Standards Office. You find them in the Careers Service. You find them in all sorts of places, and that's just one sector. I think the skills that we have are extraordinary. I think that we don't tell people about them enough. We're a little bit self-assuming at times, and I think we should be out there waving a banner and just saying we do this stuff really, really well. And the stuff that we do have so many applications. There are places where you might not feel so comfortable. Advertising was a great place to work. It's not a place I want to stay, particularly not a 1990s advertising agency full of very big red braces, awful lot of very long lunches, and a lot of people, for me, moving back into education was that thing about teach a man to fish, as opposed to provide a short executive summary for somebody who is a little bit busy whining and dining a client to read anything themselves. Just the way I saw it. Having said that, it was loads of fun working there, and learning the stuff that I learned in that position gave me huge set of skills, such as a very inquiring mind. If you're asked to find the SO tiger cub for the next advert and you don't quite know where to find a small live tiger cub in the UK, it does exercise your mind and is fun, but wasn't the thing for me. But for others, really enjoyable, settled into that area really, really happily. So I think you have to try before you buy, don't you? And I think at the beginning of my career, going out and trying lots of different things and being in lots of different places was wonderful. Continuing over the years, again, it's the voluntary work, I think, that's given me perspectives. But when I was writing my fellowship, a lot of the things I drew on were spaces that weren't necessarily my day job. So I am no longer sitting, but I used to be a magistrate, and the structured decision-making in the criminal courts service is something that fits beautifully with our professional lives. It is a real skill and, again, a transferable skill. So if you think about transferring that from the courts to libraries, there's no reason why you can't transfer the skills that we've got from libraries to any other place it's any other profession and any other opportunity. So I think really it's about thinking about the skills that you have rather than thinking about the sector in which you work, but then also thinking about your own motivations and perhaps what it is that you want to do. And I think that's the thing, really, we are ethical practitioners. That's the thing at the heart of our professional practice. So if you're in a place where you feel happy about what you're providing, but you're using those skills for the things that you feel are important, I think that's the best place to be. And that can be in any sector.
Thank you, Kate. Okay, if there's no other questions, then we've got a question at the back. Yes, thank you.
Hi, Andrew Given from Renfrewshire Libraries. It was just really a question on the membership fee structure, because there's a couple of colleagues of mine who have recently left CILIP, and it was on account of the fees. And I think that it's the case that it's pretty much a flat rate now, so that if you're on a fairly low paid, maybe earning about 20,000 a year, you're paying the same as somebody who's earning about 50k a year.
Right.
And I was just wondering if that's something that CILIP could reconsider, because I think it possibly may be putting off some new members, the current fees.
That's really interesting. I'll take that back. Not my decision, obviously, but I will take that back and feed that back.
Thank you. I know that is something that gets reviewed regularly, and I think will be reviewed again at some point to see, to see how it is. So, yeah. Thank you. Any other questions? Just another question over here, Alison.
Hello, my name is Sarah Louise and I work at the University of Edinburgh. I was really interested to hear about the work of We Are CILIP, and I was particularly interested to hear about the sustainability aspect and also the workforce mapping. And I think that retention is a real problem where we are right now in libraries. And what I was hoping to hear was that the work of workforce mapping will then inform more about sustainability in our profession, not just as what can we do as a library service, but what can we do to sustain our workforce. So I'm hoping the two are going to be linked together. Can you tell me if there's any plans to use that information in this way?
I think they absolutely have to be. I think, when you're doing a presentation, these things are compartmentalised, aren't they? There's there's 4 things, and here's the first thing, and you kind of go through like that. But all of them are linked. All of them are linked. And I think actually that also comes back to the PKSB as well. So I think there's a link there around how we set out our stall and say what we are as a profession, what skills we're looking for. I think retention is difficult. Recruitment is absolutely, I don't know how it is in every sector, but certainly in my sector, it's really hard, particularly for some of those specialist skills around bibliometrics data, that kind of thing. It is very, very difficult. And I think you're absolutely right. To sustain our profession, we need to be very clear about what it is that we do. We need to understand who we are as a workforce. We need to be as inclusive as we possibly can and welcome everybody, and show ourselves to be the place that people would like to be. When you do those surveys, you see we are the most trusted profession, we are this, we are that. And we're all really pleased about that. And then we go about our daily lives. And I think we should be showing this off. It's phenomenal what people do. I don't know who else like me is following what's happening with Ukrainian libraries at the moment. But when you look at what happens with libraries at the heart of a community and how our profession rises to that, it is just astonishing. And I think we should be very, very proud of what we do and tell people more about that. And hopefully that will encourage more people to come through. I think also we need to step back and look at the library schools as well and talk to our colleagues in library schools, talk to our colleagues in apprenticeships and other pathways into the profession, and welcome people in from maybe more non-traditional routes than we've done in the past. I do worry that we get a bit protective about this, and I think that's not the right thing to do. And we have a whole framework of professional qualifications, of course I'd say that. But actually that does welcome people in. So I have a number of people stepping in particular to the data side of what we do at the university. And they're coming from a PhD background or from a data background. They're really keen. They want to be librarians. But, the way they are choosing to do that is through engaging with the professional registration. And also, they'd quite like me to buy them a badge. I'm not sure about that. But it is about being an inclusive and sustainable profession. And I think all of these things go together to help that happen, I hope. But I think it's up to us. I think we have to get out there and tell people about what we do and to advocate for our profession and be proud of what we do. Sometimes when we do things, when we're most successful is sometimes when we're most invisible. You know, we join services up seamlessly, we make open pathways and routes for people to move their way through. Do they know we're there? You know, are we just scene, well, not just, but are we the scene shifters, like in a theatre when you're all, you know, the people in the black clothing come on and move all the furniture around and then the play happens. I often think we are that in people's lives at times and in people's journeys, whether it's an educational journey or in a public library or in a prison library or wherever we happen to be working. We make stuff happen, but we should be telling people about how we make that happen and what it is that we do and how important everything is. And I would hope that that would really resonate with people and make people want to be part of us.
Thank you. And one of there was a workforce mapping done a number of years ago, which is what is now being repeated or being done in a different way. And that has influenced in a strong way our own equalities, diversity, inclusion commitment that we've made at CILIP. And I know there's similar work that has been done at CILIP. It's a work in progress. We're not there, and you know we need to see the results. And we'd also like people to give their views on it because we're a small team at CILIP, and we're not going to get all that right. So if people can have a look at that and give us their views, we're going to review that at CILIP Scotland in September. So please let us know what we could be doing better in that, and also we'll learn from the workforce mapping as well. Okay, so we're almost at time, so I would just like to say thank you, Kate. That was wonderful, and thank you for coming and giving us your thoughts, and I know you'll be about for a bit longer if anyone wants to have a chat. So can we all just please give a round of applause for Kate? Thank you. And just a little plug, we're delighted to have non-members and members here, and it's fine whatever you are. But if you do want to chat about being a member of CILIP, we do have the CILIP stand with Pete and Gemma in the exhibition, so please do go and have a chat with them if you would like to find out about membership. Plug over. Just a couple of other things that I forgot to say. At lunch, it's just bowl food. It's kind of like a tapas style. So if you do have any dietary requirements, the staff are aware of them, but you do just need to give the staff a shout if there's anything. Or if you've got any concerns about that, come and chat to us at registration, and we'll point you in the right direction. The only other thing is just a couple of small speaker changes just in the programme, just to be aware of. Everything is remaining the same. Just to say, in the 2:05 slot this afternoon, the heart of the college, Jill Leishman and Joy McLean. Joy McLean, unfortunately, through illness, can't make it, but Jill Leishman is still going to be doing the talk, so just to make you aware of that. Tomorrow we have a couple of small changes. Gemma Kearney was meant to be here, but the Jubilee has got in the way, and a DJ gig with Mark Ronson in New York apparently took precedence over the CILIPS conference. I don't know how we can compete, but she is definitely getting up at 6:35 a.m. in New York, and we'll be zooming in with Amina, all being well. So let's see if that works, but hopefully will. And the only other change is in the City Suite tomorrow afternoon, Inga Allen and Pella Innocenti will be it will be a recording rather than a presentation because they can't make it. But it will still, if you're planning to go to that session, it will still be the same talk. But no other changes for today. So that's my bit over. You can now go and enjoy a coffee next door, have a chat to exhibitors, or get outside. I think the weather's probably good, so feel free to get a coffee and then have a wander. As I say, if you're going to Art Gallery or the Melbourne, head upstairs. Or if you are coming for the sustainability, come back in here. So thank you all, and I'll see you soon.